rolling?
Rolling. Hello everybody, what's up? How's it going? I hope that you are well. I am back here again today with Wondergasm.
Hello.
We actually filmed a video over on his channel.
5 tips for our first time travellers.
That's the one. We have also just filmed a video which was our part 1 of how to convince your parents that backpacking is a good idea.
We did do that.
In part 1, which is just linked up here, we are giving you parents benefits as to why backpacking is great for your child. But for some of you, that's not enough.
You might have some worries.
We appreciate that, which is why we've created part 2. And that's what we're going to be addressing today. If you have any fears about your children going backpacking, my parents had exactly the same fears. We're going to be addressing them today because my mum still says today, like, she's so happy I went backpacking. She said it was the best thing I could have possibly done.
My mum's happy that I travelled too.
We want your children to be as happy as we are. We want you to be as happy as our parents are. Before we start, there's something that you should know, parents. You do not have full control of your child. You are not going to be able to track them completely. You need to trust your budding backpacker child.
It goes both ways, so if you're the one looking to go backpacking, you need to convince your parents and make sure that they feel sure that you can do this properly.
You need to show them why you are responsible. Otherwise they're not going to trust you. Charles, what if you run out of money when you're away?
So, backpackers, you need to go to your parents with a proposal. Tell them where you're going, have a realistic budget, and prove to them that you have the funds to support you. If you need any tips on saving and budgeting, you can check out
my videos! We'll link the videos below for tips for saving and budgeting. Charles, what if you get ill? What if you get sick?
You need to make sure you have health and travel insurance for the entirety of your trip and that it covers all of the countries you're going to be visiting.
Definitely. If you've gone for longer than you expected, so your insurance runs out, check out World Nomads because they are a travel insurance company which allows you to buy ongoing insurance. So you don't have to be back home to buy it. I know a lot of insurance companies do that. So check out World Nomads, I'll link them below. There are hospitals and doctors everywhere, all over the world.
Great doctors all around the world.
But there are some other things that you can do to prevent illness. Make sure you're vaccinated.
Yes, so important.
If you are going to any third world countries especially, normally you might need yellow fever or hepatitis A, hepatitis B. There's a bunch of stuff. Visit your travel doctor. They'll know exactly what vaccinations that you're going to need for the countries that you're going to. And my other tip would be to always carry a first aid kit on you. I always do. It's not like an official first aid kit, but I've just got in there plasters, ibuprofen, cold and flu tablets, wet wipes and disinfectant, just in case, you know, you might have a bad fall and you just need to clean it up and make sure it doesn't get infected. Just things like that. It just all prevents you from getting ill. And allergy tablets is another one if you get hay fever at all. One more for that is protecting yourself from bed bugs. I always carry a sleeping bag liner. You can get the silk ones which are super thin, easy to pack. And then in hostels you can just slip yourself into that and that prevents you from getting any bed bugs.
Is it like a hood over it as well?
Some of them can, yeah.
I was gonna say,
In fact, I think most of them do. Yeah, they kind of go up past your head. Charles?
Yeah?
What if you're on your own?
For the most part, backpackers are never alone. Like, even if you go travelling on your own, you won't be able to be alone because you automatically make friends wherever you go. Backpackers tend to stick together, you know? If you're travelling and you meet a bunch of other people who are like-minded and travelling as well, you're automatically gonna like come together and do stuff together.
So you may be on your own on the plane, but if you're all travelling then to the same hostel, there's going to be people who are on your shuttle bus with you. Then you get to the hostel,
even on the plane,
people.
I've made friends on the plane. I flew from Melbourne to LA. I was sat next to 2 people either side. One was doing a road trip through Mexico on a motorbike, amazingly cool guy, and the other one was driving down to San Diego. Like, both other travellers who, awesome cool people. Like, you make friends even if you're not trying to.
But if you are, just stick to the backpacker hotspots, and if you haven't found someone, then you will very shortly.
Every hostel I've ever stayed in, they have social events in the evening. They'll take you to a sports game, or they'll take you to like some bars together, or they'll have like even like boards games nights in the hostel common room, like, and you will make friends so easily.
Yeah, you really will. If you are worried about going on your own, especially for the first time, then go with a friend, go with your mate, or book onto a tour. Really good Kentucky Top Deck. That's just some of the popular tour companies. They do travel tours all over the world, varying lengths, so you can do it for a day, a week, a month. I know my sister did I think she did 6 weeks across the north of America. Met her boyfriend.
Future husband.
Who she's probably going to marry. Hi, Tish and Liam. Charles?
Yeah?
What if you get robbed?
Oh no.
Oh no.
Don't worry, we've got you covered. Again, have travel insurance. That's going to cover like your valuables regardless, but to prevent it happening in the first place, it's important to make sure you have your valuables concealed. Like, you don't walk around flashing a nice watch, a mobile phone, anything that you don't want to lose. Don't be flashy with it, okay? Just be smart, you know?
Girls, don't wear like super expensive jewelry that's like clearly expensive. Like, you can find very nice, much cheaper jewelry when you're abroad, I assure you.
Yeah.
If a pickpocketer or if a thief sees you wearing this really nice gold necklace or really nice gold bracelet, like, you are then a target for them. So just, it's as simple as don't do that. Bum bags are very popular. Keep small things like
money,
your
passport.
phone, passport, yeah, just like close to you. But other than that, make sure you have a padlock. Most hostels do have lockers. I do actually always look for that when I'm looking for a hostel to stay. I just make sure that it does say on there that they have lockers available. Even if you have to pay a small fee for them, it's definitely worth it when you know that you're keeping your valuables
100%.
safe. Charles, what if you're somewhere unsafe?
If you are going to be travelling to a country that is not considered as safe as, say,
your home country,
there's certain things you can do that will help with that situation. Make sure you stick to places that other backpackers are going to be. Touristy spots, other areas that are on the tour. Like, don't go wandering off on your own and to like the back streets to get a cool photo if you don't know anyone there, no one knows you're there. Like, it's just not a good idea, right? So stick with the gang.
For the most part, when you go backpacking, you don't actually go places that are much more unsafe than your hometown. Funnily enough, the place where I have felt most unsafe in the world was LA in California. It just had the dodgiest feel about it. It was a particular place.
Were you in Compton?
I don't think so. LA's not really somewhere you consider to be unsafe, but I swear to God, that is where I felt the most unsafe. And in the third world countries, for the most part, felt absolutely fine. But obviously, parents, going back to the first point, you cannot control every aspect of your child's trip, and that's completely okay. But backpackers, there are quite a few things that you can probably do which will help your parents keep a peaceful state of mind.
One thing that will definitely help is to give your parents an itinerary of your entire trip. So where you're going to be and when you're going to be there.
Flights you've booked, accommodation you've booked.
They know a rough idea of where you're going to be. They're not going to be worrying that they have no idea where you are or what you're doing.
Number 2, don't promise that you're going to be in a particular place at a particular time. And also don't promise that you can contact them at a particular place at a particular time. I know that sounds a little bit scary, but sometimes you might think you're going to be somewhere, but something gets delayed, maybe you miss a bit of transport, or maybe you get to somewhere where you thought there was going to be signal and there's actually none. And the truth is that you're absolutely fine, but you just don't have any signal, you don't have any Wi-Fi, and you can't contact your parents. But if you've promised them that you will, they are going to be freaking out. So never promise your parents that you're going to speak to them at a particular time, but do promise them that you will keep them updated.
Another tip that relates to that is do give your parents a heads up if you know you're going to be out of contact for a few days. Say you're going on a boat trip or you're going to be hiking through the mountains and you know you're not going to have any reception. Like, just say, hey, look, I'm going to be doing this for a few days. I won't be able to get hold of you, so don't panic.
Yeah, but if you can, give them a contact detail of possibly the tour that you're on. Maybe if you've met someone at a hostel and you're going to be travelling with them, maybe just give them their name, maybe their Facebook page, just so they have a little bit more of an idea of exactly where you're going. Tell them exactly what the thing is that you're going to be doing. Tell them when you're going to get back. But again, don't promise them that you're going to contact them as soon as you get back, because for whatever reason you may not be able to.
Another tip that hopefully won't happen, but if it does, it needs to be covered. If there's a natural disaster happening in the place you're in or nearby, let your parents know you're okay, even if you don't think it's affected you. Chrissy, for example, was in New Zealand.
In New Zealand. There was a massive earthquake. It affected the whole country. My bed was shaking. It was shaking violently, but I was absolutely fine, and I didn't even really consider that
they... Go back to sleep.
Yeah, I went back to sleep. I didn't even consider that they'd heard about it in England. And it was midnight when it happened. And then I woke up at 7 AM to about 1 million missed calls from my mum. She was freaking out because she was trying to get hold of me, but I hadn't said anything to her. And yeah, that was bad move on my behalf because Mum was not happy. So yeah, if something you think may have made the news, and an earthquake's one of them, don't make my mistake. Earthquakes make the news for the most part. Just tell your parents that you're okay, because yeah, they will be freaking out, so just let them know. Make
regular contact as often as you can, like just to keep your parents' peace of mind,
just
right?
Just mundane things. Let them know when you're making toast.
It's a little text or like a little Facebook message, right?
They
It's
love
not
it.
hard. You know?
Or even a Snapchat. Are your parents on Snapchat? Mine aren't, but maybe they are. It'll make them so much happier and it'll make them feel so much more comfortable and more calm. Final tip that we have is just make sure your parents have a copy of your passport. I'm sure they already will, and you will have already thought of this, but it is important. You might miss a flight, you might lose your passport. I don't know the extent of what could happen, but it's a good thing to have. It's a good thing for your parents to have, and it'll make them feel a bit better, like, right, I know where my child is, I know a rough idea of what they're doing, I've got their passport if I need it, and that's as much control as you can have.
To summarise.
Parents, backpacking is so much fun, and your child's gonna have the best time. They're gonna learn so many skills. They're never gonna be alone. They're always gonna be with backpackers, making so many new friends, having so many more experiences, challenging themselves. They're gonna be inspiring you to go out traveling. They're gonna be living the dream.
It's gonna be good.
You gotta let them do it. Let them spread their wings. That's all we have for how to convince your parents that backpacking is a good idea. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you're all well. Make sure you go check out Wondergasm's channel and the videos that we've done on there. Make sure you check out part 1 if you haven't already. So if you've only seen this video where we've addressed the fears, go and see the benefets. There's so many more benefits than there have been fears. I don't know what the next video is going to be. I'm sorry about that, but do I ever? But whatever it is, I will see you then. Bye!
Peace.